Whitesville, West Virginia is about equidistant from both Charleston and Beckley. Route 3 runs through downtown, and coal trucks thunder back and forth from the mines. Whitesville is the hub of the communities surrounding Mont Coal, where 29 died at the Upper Big Branch mine. Around here, almost everybody knows someone who lost someone in the explosion. Betty Taylor works at Flint's Hardware in nearby Sylvester. She has lived in the area for all of her 70 years and says last April's explosion was the worst disaster of any kind to befall her community. Even so, she says it drew everyone closer together.
You've seen all these people that come in from different places, and it was really, people really got together and they showed a lot of support, a lot of hours, sitting with the families and, while all this was going on. It was a long time, it seemed like a long time for those families sitting up there, and it's just something that, it stays in your heart all the time, that you really feel for these people.
The explosion happened at the mine, operated by a Massey Energy subsidiary, on Monday, April 5th. That afternoon, the Whitesville Volunteer Fire Department and other emergency service providers were called to the mine. David Hodges was on that initial call, and his crews stayed on site for 9 days. He says it was a tough time for everyone.
It's very emotional, and it's very trying, but also we're trying to do our job, so you sort of put it to the side. And when you're working these cases, you really don't put faces with names, and things don't seem like reality hasn't settled in until after the fact. But, when you do realize it, it's very emotional, and it pushes you to the max, but you just have to remember that you're trained to do this job, and that's what we're here for.
Hours after the explosion, authorities had recovered and identified 7 bodies and had verified that 25 were dead. But there were 4 miners unaccounted for, and for the next several days, families held out hope that their loved ones were alive and among the 4. Pastor David Minturn of Sylvester Baptist Church was among those who gathered at the mine to wait for news with the miners' families.
That's tough to describe. I think initially the shock among the families, the despair and hope at the same time. There was a great feeling of community among the families. There were probably 25 local pastors there that first night, and several throughout the week ministering. We just looked for opportunities just to say a word of comfort, to have prayer, just to be available for the families if they needed anything that we could help them with.
There are 3 investigations into the causes of the explosion underway, but no conclusions have been reached. Betty Taylor is skeptical anyone will ever know exactly what happened in the mine that day.
I really don't believe they'll ever come down to really actually finding out exactly what happened. I really don't, because you just never know. I mean, I know they're trying, they're going through all kinds of different cycles and different things and trying to figure out the situation, but I really don't believe that when it comes down to the point, I don't believe they'll ever come up with a solution to really what really actually happened.
Elected officials, the miners' families, and community members plan to hold a memorial in Whitesville on Tuesday. For West Virginia Public Broadcasting, I'm Erica Peterson in Whitesville.